So I've got the truck all packed up. I'm going to be spending the next 2 days exploring some of the Allegheny National Forest. Tonight I'll just be camping out of the truck, but tomorrow I'm going to hike pretty deep in, look for some waterfalls, and I'll do a little backcountry camping tomorrow night. All right, it's getting late, it's starting to get dark, so I'm going to head out now. So it's a chilly 41 degrees. It's not too bad. So this will be home for the night. Got a nice sunset and everything. Thermarest X-Therm. Probably the warmest ultralight sleeping pad you can get. Pretty comfortable too. Only problem is they're a little pricey, but they are worth every penny. To inflate this. These are kind of loud, crinkly. It has some kind of mylar material inside of it. It reflects your body heat up back toward you, and that's part of what makes it so warm. It is getting chilly. I don't think it's supposed to rain or anything tonight. If it does, I'll just put the tonneau cover over me. Let's get that rocket stove. So I'll leave this here and probably fire this up in the morning. It's my inflatable camp pillow. It's nice because it goes right into the hood of your sleeping bag. Just like so. I'm going to lay down for the night. See you guys in the morning. And I'm going to cook some breakfast on the rocket stove. I had a little trouble sleeping last night. It was a full moon. It was so bright. It was kind of keeping me awake. I'm just going to be cooking a hobo meal today with some ground deer meat. Usually you make these on a campfire with aluminum foil. Since I'm using a rocket stove, I'm going to cook mine in a pot. First goes my ground meat, which is still like half frozen, and some sweet peppers. Then we'll put some onion in there. Then I'll add my seasoning. Salt, black pepper, some cayenne pepper, garlic salt, a little bit of everything. And I'll put some butter in there. That's all it is. It's real quick and easy to make. Just want to keep that moving in there. That should be about done. Very simple, basic recipe, but that is good. Well, I'm going to finish this up and hit the road, and where I want to go camping tonight is about 10 miles from here or so. I'll park the truck and then we'll be hiking in. I'm going to be looking for that waterfall and some ramps. Ramps are like a cross between onion and garlic. It's too bad I didn't have any for this meal. On to the next spot. There's a spring up here somewhere. Go get some water. I've been drinking out of this spring for years. Never got sick so far. Just put that in my backpack. Well, we're here. It is getting warm out. So here's a fallen red pine. This is going to be loaded with fatwood. I'm going to gather some of this real quick with my ultralight saw. These dead branches closest to the trunk is going to be very flammable. You can make torches with these or just use them as fire starters. And I can smell it already. It smells like turpentine. See that deep amber colored wood? The rest of this tree is pretty rotten, but this, very solid. And it's only going to go up about this far or so into the limb. And then I'll gather some more of these branches. And this I will use as a torch. I'm just going to put this in my backpack. So the ramps are up here on this hill. Not seeing any so far. Don't know if they're going to be sprouted yet. They like growing on these hillsides, these damp hillsides, but well drained. I'm going to see if I can find any under these leaves. There's one here. What I'm after are the bulbs. They're just barely sprouted, so I'm going to have a really hard time finding any. Oh well, I'll grab a handful here and then keep on hiking. Cut them there, right above the roots. A sustainable way to harvest them. That way they'll grow back. And you don't want to use your good knife for this because it'll get dull. That's what I got so far. Guess I'll have to wait a few weeks for these to really start coming up. Leaves back. Pretty big rocks over there. Wouldn't be a bad place to camp out. Beautiful day. Not too hot, it's not too cold. Should be getting close to the waterfall. There's a nice black cherry here. One here. This area gets logged very heavily. One reason for that is because of its high quality black cherry trees. Maple here. You can tap these and get the sap from them. That's how maple syrup is made. You can also drink it, which is what I like to do. It's about 98% water, 2% sugar. Has some vitamins and minerals in it. It's good stuff. You can either drill into it with a drill or stick your knife in there. And this is the time of year to do it. It is early spring. Temperatures have to be just right though. Below freezing at night and above freezing during the daytimes. And I can hear the waterfall. There it is. Be a good fishing spot for wild brook trout anyway. Pretty cool. Very sandy bottom stream. Beautiful. So I want to head up this mountain, but I'm not sure how much water is going to be up there. I'm going to chug the water I do have, and then I'm going to fill it back up with creek water. I can filter it when I get up there, just so I don't have to come all the way back down here later on for water. Fill up my bag. And I'll just have to carry that. I gotta hike up that thing. It is steep. Camera doesn't really do it justice. I could make things easy on myself and just camp down here somewhere, but I like to do things the hard way. My legs are getting a workout today. Whew. There's like a wall of earth in front of me. Whole view of the valley from up here. take a little break here. The vultures are starting to circle me. I think I'm dying. Should be getting close to the top. About halfway up the mountain, I ran into this old logging road. Makes for much easier hiking. The higher I get, the more snow I see. Birch bark. I'll gather some of that for tinder. Already have some fat wood, but never hurts to have more tinder. Alright, so it looks like we hit the spruce resin jackpot. It's not every day I come across this much spruce resin, so I'm going to collect some of this. You can also use this for first aid. If you get a cut, it'll act kind of like Neosporin and liquid bandage. Keeps infections out. Whatever injury the tree has, it's going to pump resin to that injury to seal any infections out of it. So I'll gather a little more here and then head over to my camping spot. I'm almost there where I want to go. I've never been here before, but I've seen it on the satellite image. Looks like a nice clearing on top of the mountain. Might have a nice view. I just kicked up a grouse. Scared me a little bit. They're very loud when they take off. When they take off, it sounds like thunder. That is a big tree. Frog eggs. So I made it to the top of the mountain. Pretty nice view here. Well, I'm going to set up my tent right here. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to cook my food up in those woods. For one, that's where the firewood is. For two, the bears are kind of active right now. It's spring. They're looking for food. It's best to cook your food away from your camp. So I don't feel like having any bear problems tonight. So I just came across this maple tree. It must have some kind of injury on it because there's sap flowing from it. And there are flies all over it. It's sugary, so bugs love the sap. It's different than pine sap or spruce sap. This is mostly water. So like I said earlier, you can drink the sap straight from the tree. My tent. Forgot my tent stakes, so I had to make some. I'm gonna go up here into the woods, find a good log, make a Swedish torch, cook some food. So what I like to do with my bow saw blade so it doesn't take much space up, I keep it in my belt loops, wrapped in some hockey tape. So now I just need to make a handle for this. And this will do. So I'll put the blade in the split like that. So that's what I have so far. There we go. Now the only thing I have to do now is just wrap some cord around here where the split is, so when I use the saw, it doesn't split all the way up the rest of the stick. All right, so there we go. That'll make a good Swedish torch. So I'm going to take my log, split it twice, once that way and once that way. All right, so now I'm just going to cut the corners off of each one. And I'll do that to the rest of them. Now I'm going to take some wire and wrap these together after I match them up. There you go. So here's that fat wood I cut earlier. See how good that lights up. And today we are going to have Mountain House beef stew. I'm going to loosen my wire, shove some twigs in there just to keep it open so some air can get to the fire on the inside. I always forget to do that. It's a great way to cook food because you get a lot of heat with very little fuel. It's a very efficient use of a log. This will boil water in no time. These torches aren't very good at radiating heat outward because all the heat goes straight up. But it's pretty warm tonight, so I don't need a big fire. Well, I forgot my spoon in the truck. Guess I'll be using this. I'll cook my ramps just a little bit. Get them a little charred around the edges. Put my ramps in there, mix them up. I'm gonna buy more of these. This is good. First time trying the Mountain House beef stew, and I highly recommend. Make some bread, some bannock bread. Close that up and mix it. I put a little too much water in my mix. Once your Swedish torch falls apart, just use it as a mini campfire. This time, we're going to have some lasagna. Looks like my bread's done. It is not pretty, but it's going to be good. I'm going to sprinkle some ramps in there. Dip my bread in there. The lasagna is another win for the night. So I think I like the beef stew a little better. Not that this isn't good, but I've always liked beef stew. Well, I'm going to finish up my lasagna and my bread, and I'm going to head down to the tent. It's getting a little chilly. A little windier than it was last night. Let's head back down to the tent. So it's a good thing I decided to get that water from the creek earlier, because I am thirsty. There's no water real close by here. Save the batteries a little bit on my flashlights. So I'll stick this in the ground and get ready for bed. There we go. Wind's picking up. Last night was as calm as could be. Tonight, getting some pretty heavy wind gusts. I am nice and warm in this sleeping bag. Well, it's getting late. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll have a little morning snack. strawberry banana fruit leather I made myself. Well, I'm going to pack everything up now and hike out of here. This fruit leather's addicting. Well, it's been fun. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and join me in my next video.